Hi guys, we're going a little bit out of order with our sections. This is just an easier section for me to teach online because it's not a very tough section. So this is equations of circles. So the subs should give you guys this note sheet, and then we'll guide you through it and bring questions to next class. Hopefully you won't have any issues. The warm-up question is asking us to find the distance between these 2 points. Now, if you recall, we did distance formula quite a while ago. And distance formula is going to be really similar to this circle equation. So distance formula, you don't need to memorize this. You memorized it at one point. So this is our distance formula, and we're putting the x and y's into this equation. So square root, and I'm trying to find the distance between these 2 points. I'm going to subtract the x's and square them, and then subtract the y's and square them. So it's -6 minus a -2, so it's going to be -6 plus 2 squared, and 7 minus 4 squared. So it's -4 squared plus 3 squared. Now anything squared is always going to become a positive, so it'll be 16. 3 squared is 9. So the distance between these 2 points is the square root of 25, which is 5. This formula is going to seem really similar in a second when we talk about the equations of circles. So that's a review concept. I was trying to kind of tie that together because the circle is the distance, the points that are equidistant from the center of a circle. So distance comes into play with circles. So the equation of a circle in standard form looks like this. Make sure you write this down correctly. So it's x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. And I'll explain what everything stands for. So the r, if we're talking about a circle, that's the radius of the circle. Now the radius of a circle in the formula is going to look like r squared, so they're actually going to square it. Now you want to recall that the diameter of a circle is always 2 times the radius. So if I have to find the radius, I might have to divide the diameter by 2. So just a quick reminder with that. The x and y are all the points on the circle. And I'm going to leave those as variables in the general equation. And then, sorry, my dog sees other dogs outside. So h and k are the center of the circle. But notice in the formula, it looks like a minus h, a minus k. We'll talk about that as we talk about this equation. So make sure you get that written down, and we'll talk about how to write equations, graph these. Again, this is not a very tough topic. I thought it'd be a great one to do online this way. So I'm going to flip this over. So this is write the equation of a circle with center at -2, 4 and a radius of 3. Now the normal equation of a circle is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. They're telling me the center. The center is always h and k. So they've told me h and k, and they told me the radius, which is r. So I'm going to put all of that into my formula and just simplify a very little bit. I'm not going to simplify much at all. So the h is going to be -2. So x minus -2 squared plus y minus k, so y minus 4, that's my k value, equals r squared. So all I'm going to do to simplify this, so again I put all these values in that they gave me, I'm just going to rewrite it without the double negatives. So all I did was change that negative and negative, and then the 3 squared, I'll just make that 9. It just looks a little bit nicer. This is considered the equation of a circle. Now they want me to graph it. So here's my center, -2, 4. Now if I'm going too fast, again, feel free to pause as needed, rewind as needed, do what you guys need to do. Negative 2, 4. That's my center. The radius is 3. That means I'm going to go every direction from here 3 that I can count. So I go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Now I'm not going to go diagonally because I can't count diagonally because 1 going diagonally isn't the same amount. So I'm just going to try and draw the best circle I can here. Give me a, oh, that wasn't bad. So there's my circle, and your circle might not look as good as that, or maybe your circle looks better, but this is our circle that's centered at negative 2, 4 and has a radius of 3. And we were able to draw that based off what we see here. And so this is our equation of this circle. I am actually going to go down to example 3 first. I think example 2 just fit better there. That's why it's there. But let's go down to example 3 if I could. So I want to graph this circle. I have to figure out what H and K and R are. So I have to figure out what H and K is. And I have to figure out what R is. Now remember, our formula looks like this. So H is here, but careful, look back up here. In my formula, the negative 2 in my formula actually looks like a positive 2 because of the minus sign here. So it's always the opposite of what you expect. So this is really going to be a negative 3. But then this one, there isn't anything. So there's nothing being subtracted from K. So that means K is just going to be 0. So negative 3, 0 is going to be my center. Negative 3, 0. Then my R is always squared. So whatever this is, my R is always going to be basically the square root of this. So it's basically saying R squared is 16. So that means R has to be the square root of 16, which is 4. So that means in every direction now this time, I'm going to go out 4. So here's my center, going out 4 every direction that I can go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now that my first circle was so good, this one's not going to be as good. So a little lopsided there. But there's my circle. So again, my center and my radius, and my equation was given to me. So there's going to be some problems in your homework like this. Feel free to have this open when you guys are watching this part. So graphing, being able to write an equation. And then finally, this last type of problem, which I kind of skipped over, they want us to write the equation of a circle that has center of this, and it passes through this point. So they're not telling us the radius. So if they tell me the center, they're telling me H and K, because center is always H and K. They're telling me a point. Remember on the first side, I said all the points are just X's and Y's. So they're telling me an X and Y. I don't know R. So I'm going to have to find R. And what you're going to see in a minute here, this is really just using the distance formula. So my formula for a circle is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. So I'm going to put all this information in. So x is 3, h is 1. 3 minus 1 squared plus y is negative 4, k is negative 2. Now notice I'm subtracting a negative, so I'm going to be careful with my parentheses there. So 3 minus 1 is 2. Negative 4 plus 2 is going to be a negative 2 squared. And again, this is all going to equal r squared. So negative 2, or 2 squared is going to be 4. Negative 2 squared is also 4. 4 and 4 is 8. It's going to be r squared. So r is going to end up being the square root of 8. Now, I'm not going to leave it that way. I actually, in my formula, I want to use r squared because they wanted me to write the equation of this in standard form. So now I'm going to put everything back in. I'm going to put the r squared back in, and I'm going to put the center back in, but I'm going to ignore this point. That was just one specific point. I want to now write the general equation. So I'm going to write x minus 1, that's my h, plus y minus k, which is minus a negative 2. I could write that as plus 2 right away. And that's going to equal r squared, and of course I have the whole there. So that's going to be square root of 8 squared, or just 8. So I'm just going to rewrite this one more time with enough space here. And that double negative is going to be gone. Sorry. And so there's my equation. These problems are a little bit trickier, kind of seeing what I want from there. So again, there's a few like this, so feel free to kind of try them as best you can and see how it goes. Your homework is listed on the bottom of the page. I believe there's about 4 or 5 that you have to graph. So I will give you guys graph paper, or I'll ask the sub to give you guys graph paper. And so the homework is here. Do your best to finish this for next class. You also have other homework that you have to make sure you guys have done from the previous class that, well actually, yeah, from a long time ago, because you guys took the Aspire test last time. Well, some of you guys did. So just double check that you guys have homework done from last class as well. So we'll check all the homework assignments next time we're together. Hope you guys have a great day. Take care. Bye.